Lions get pushed around at home today by the Bills and another major injury.
You are Locked On Lions, your daily Detroit Lions podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hi, what's happening, everybody? Matt Derry with you. It is a Sunday postgame edition of Locked On Lions right here on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Lions fall to the Buffalo Bills today. Yes, for just the second time this year, we're talking about a loss. The 11-game win streak is done. Lions are now 12-2. Bills beat them 48-42 at Ford Field in front of 65,000 plus downtown. Great environment. NFL Today pregame show and all that was there outside of Ford Field and Comerica Park. The Lions could not match the Bills' intensity today, and Buffalo absolutely poleaxed the Lions. Detroit made it close in the end, but lose 48-42. Matt Derry with you. It is Locked On Lions, Locked On Podcast Network on a Sunday, December 15th into Monday, December 16th. Thanks for making us your first listen and checking us out wherever you get your podcasts. I'm not going to sit here and scream and holler, rip the team, say the season's over. I'm not going to go that far. But there should be some concern because this team cannot stay healthy. Dan Campbell just said in his post-game press conference, Alim McNeill could be done for the year. I got a text from the inside that said the same thing. Sometimes sometimes the best ability is your availability, and the Lions have no available defenders left. And today, Josh Allen punked him, clowned him all day. And the Lions had no answers. A lot of it was scheme. A lot of it was, hey, even when the Lions were healthy up front today, when Pascal and McNeill and Onwuzurike and Zadarius Smith were all out on the field, the Bills' offensive line just manhandled them. Bottom line, the Detroit Lions are 12-2. They're damn good. They're still arguably the best team in the NFC. But let me tell you something. The Lions are known for what? Winning up front. Their D-line and their O-line. And today, the Lions got shoved around. Shout out to our everydayers who are out there that watch and listen to the podcast daily. I ran into Dave Wooten yesterday. Dave, the pride of Harper Woods. I saw him down at Campus Martius yesterday. Dave's a big listener. Thank you, Dave, for being an everydayer. The Impellizzeri family. Oh, they want more shout outs. My girl, Ashley, her husband, Vincent, mom, Lori, dad, Tim. Thank you to the Impellizzeri fam. They are awesome. Vincent Bennett, by the way. Sigurmaz on Twitter. Thank you. Gannon Druin, happy 14th birthday, bro. Sorry the team couldn't deliver you a win. But the G Money is 14 today. Kyle Cassidy up in New York is a big Locked On Lions everydayer. And also the pride of Traverse City West, the great Chris Stowe with an E. Thank you for being an everydayer. You want to be our SpeakPipe voicemail system call of the day? We'll do some calls of the day this week. Go to speakpipe.com/Derry podcast page. Lions defense is a mess. Lions offense wasn't great today either, despite 42 points. They couldn't run the football, which sucked. And before you could even get comfortable in your seat and you're chomping on your nachos, it was 14-0 Buffalo. Today was one of those days that, and Dan Campbell said it after the game, that he did not have his team prepared. That's Dan Campbell taking a bullet for his team. And that's what Coach Campbell does. He's amazing, right? He's saying I did not prepare them today. He's not going to use injuries as an excuse. But today was about Josh Allen and that Bills offense that put up over 550 yards of total offense. Rushing the football today, the edge was 197 to 48 in the favor of the Bills. James Cook ran left, and it seems like every time he ran left, there was a gigantic hole. Where was DJ Reader today? My God. Did that guy even show up? He got manhandled all day. Alim McNeill, before he got injured, did not play well. James Cook averaged 7.5 a carry today, 14 for 105 and 2 touchdowns. Josh Allen, 11 carries, 66 yards, 6 yards a carry, 2 touchdowns. Ray Davis, 7 carries, 15 yards. And Ty Johnson, 2 carries, 9 yards. Ty Johnson, the former Lions 6th-round pick from the maestro, Bob Quinn, getting behind the Lion linebackers to the tune of 5 catches for 14 yards. If you had Ty Johnson as a 100-yard receiver today on your bingo card, you might as well go buy some scratch-offs because you're going to win there too. No one had that either. And look, Josh Allen should win the MVP. We saw it today. That guy's special. All right. Yes, the Lions never touched him. Yes, he hasn't been sacked in 3 weeks. Yes, the defensive line couldn't get pressure on him, and the Bills' O-line won the day. But when you throw for 362, 2 touchdowns, passer rating of 122.4, you also run for 2 touchdowns, he was doing whatever he wanted. And Aaron Glenn said this week, we got to cage him in. We can't let him make plays outside the pocket and ad lib. And that's all Josh Allen did all day. The guy was fantastic. And I know people want to talk about Jared Goff for MVP around here, and that's awesome. And Saquon Barkley will get his votes as well. People love Mahomes. We saw the most valuable player today on the field in the white uniform, wearing number 17. That was a Superman type performance today from Josh Allen. He was awesome. Tell you who wasn't awesome? Tony Romo. What on earth is he talking about? He has no idea what he's talking about ever. Then he just starts humming and singing, and he's weird. He's weird on the air. Like that was a horrific performance today by Tony Romo. Oh my God. And he saw Dan Campbell at the timeouts at the end trying to explain it. What the hell is he talking about? Dan Campbell left the game today with 2 timeouts in his back pocket. Don't tell me, Jim, I would have done the same thing. Do you think my voice is hoarse? Someone get that guy some surgery, please, on his vocal cords. Holy hell. He's awful. They're paying him $30 million a year for what? He offers nothing. Nothing. My God, it was horrible. It was one of those days, man. The Lions are fine. I'm worried about the defense. I'm worried about all the injuries. It's a lot. It's a lot to stomach. And if Alim McNeill is indeed done for the year with a non-contact knee injury, that's a killer. Because now you're losing your 2 best defensive linemen for the season, and Aiden Hutchinson and Alim McNeill. And don't look now, but Philly doesn't lose, and Minnesota doesn't lose. If Minnesota runs the table and wins the rest of their games, and they're playing tomorrow night against the Bears, Minnesota wins the North. They control their own destiny based on tiebreakers. They would be 15-2, and the Lions would have to play in the first week. You know, we talk so much about the Lions having the bye, and Lions is the 1 seed. Philly doesn't lose. They're 12-2. We'll see about Minnesota tomorrow. They're 11-2. And this was a tough one today. But you're facing arguably the best team in the AFC. And the Bills, they're good. You saw it today. Their tight ends are making one-handed catches. And, man, some of the plays Josh Allen made, that push shot, 2-handed pass for a touchdown that got called back. Holy hell. That dude is special. Special. And the Lions got to regroup next week in Chicago against the Bears, then go to San Francisco for Monday Night Football in 2 weeks. I think they'll win there. And then week 18 against Minnesota at Ford Field is going to be enormous. That's going to be a massive, massive game for the Lions, because all of a sudden the Vikings are on their tail and right there. And they get to play the Bears tonight for Monday Night Football, or tomorrow night for Monday Night Football. Lions fall to the Bills 48-42. How about this one? Jared Goff threw 5 interceptions in a game against Houston earlier this year, and the Lions won. Today he threw for 5 touchdowns, and they lost. That's unheard of. 59 attempts today for Jared Goff. How many times do we talk about this on the podcast? Over and over again. When the Lions are forced to throw the football and throw it too much, it's never a good sign. Yes, they were coming from behind. Yes, they were trying to do all sorts of things at the end to try to get the onside kick. For a second there, it looked like they were going to get it. But Bills win 48-42, dropping the Lions to 12-2. And again, next Sunday, the Lions go to Chicago to face the Bears, who will be coming off of a short week. All right, more on this game coming up next. We'll talk more about the defense. I got to get into some Dan Campbell decision making. Today was not his best performance. He said he failed his team today. He's right. Not Dan Campbell's best effort today. Still love him. Still think he should be coach of the year and all that, but not a good performance today. We'll do that coming up next. But first, Locked On Lions is sponsored by BetterHelp. How do you stay cozy during the winter months? For some, wrapping up on a blanket with a mug of hot chocolate or watching a movie with family is the best way to spend the month of December, right? Well, therapy is a great way to bring yourself some comfort that never goes away, even when the season changes. All right. I meet with my therapist once every 2 weeks, and it helps me. It helps me talk to somebody that is neutral, that's going to listen, and to keep me kind of grounded. And I enjoy it, and it helps. If you're thinking about starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. Find comfort this December with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/lockedon today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/lockedon. Lions lose just the second time this season, the 11-game win streak. What a run they had. An incredible run, right? Let's not poo-poo what this organization and this team has done the last couple of months, all right? Franchise record, 11 straight wins. Today, they ran into a Super Bowl contender. Buffalo had it all today, and they beat the Lions 48-42 down at Ford Field. Again, 3 more games to go at Chicago, at San Francisco. And then they have a date and time yet? Week 18. Who knows when that game's going to be? Against the Vikings. That could end up being flexed to Sunday night. You never know, just like last year was for the Lions in week 18. We'll have to wait and see. But man, give the Lions, or a couple of years ago when they played Green Bay, give the Lions credit. All right. Great run. Dan Campbell's not using defensive injuries as an excuse, but man, they've got a lot of guys out, a lot. Too many right now. Today, they didn't play well, and they couldn't stop Josh Allen. And it just seemed like from the get-go, Buffalo, every time they touched the football, Allen had all day to throw. Again, no sacks, hasn't been sacked in 3 weeks. And then, defensively, and yes, the Lions put up 42 points. All right. I mentioned Goff threw for 494. Amon-Ra St. Brown caught 14 balls today for $193 and a touchdown. Sam Laporta had an 100-yard day, 7 catches for 111. But that's not the Lions' game. The Lions have that capability. They've got the weapons. Jamison Williams had a touchdown at the end of the day. Also had a drop today. That would have been a touchdown, but that would have been nullified with the penalty anyway. But how many times do you watch Frank Ragnow, who is arguably the best center in the NFC? How many times do you watch him just get bullied? Ed Oliver, who, by the way, the Lions could have drafted instead of TJ Hawkinson. Ed Oliver was just bullying Frank Ragnow all day today. There was that one play when Ragnow was on his ass and Oliver was in the lap of Jared Goff. It was impressive. That dude had a monster day today. 10 quarterback pressures today for Ed Oliver. He also had 4 tackles, 3 quarterback hits, 3 solo, and a sack. Goff today was sacked 3 times. Lions, as far as quarterback hits today, had 3 total. Zeke Turner, and 2 by Josh Pascal. Lions linebackers today were abysmal. They were terrible. And today was the first day that we looked up and went, oh, man, Ben Neiman's out there. Yeesh. Jamal Adams, who is so slow, is out there. Zeke Turner, God bless him. He had a huge play last week against Jordan Love, but he had to play a lot of snaps. Today was the first time we looked up and said, man, some of this attrition, some of these injuries are finally catching up to this team. Then you lose Carlton Davis. Then you lose Khalil Dorsey. His season's going to be over. I think he shattered his ankle, which just sucks for that kid. That was horrible having to be carted off. Emmanuel Mosley was inactive again. I don't know what's going on with him and why he's been scratched, but he's going to have to play now. Who knows how long Carlton Davis is going to be out. We know Dorsey's done for the year. They're going to need to add a corner now. Probably go to the practice squad and get Maurice Norris or somebody up here on the active roster. But, Ennis Rakestraw, he's been hurt all year mostly. Got to get him back. Guys gave an effort today. This was not about not trying. The Bills just were too much. And guys were running free, and Allen had all day to throw, and he did whatever he wanted today. That was the bottom line. As far as Dan Campbell's decision-making today, two things stood out. He said after the game that he failed his team and didn't have them ready to play. I don't know about that. I mean, they did look a little bit flat, and they looked like they had 10 days off. Out of the gate, the Bills led 14-0 before the blink of an eye. But what I didn't like about Dan Campbell today is the Lions cut it to 10 with 12 minutes to go. Why are you onside kicking? Like, I know your defense can't stop them. I know. I get it. But at least give them a chance. At least pin them back to the 30 and see if you can force a turnover or stay in the game. He onside kicks it down the far side. Mac Hollins tips it to himself, takes it to the 5-yard line, almost returned it for a touchdown. And that was just a backbreaker. He did not put his team in the best position to be successful. That was a lousy call. You cut it to, it was 38-28 with 12 minutes to go after the Jahmyr Gibbs 12-yard touchdown catch. And then Hollins returns the onside kick to the 5-yard line. Ray Davis on a pass from Josh Allen where Turner stumbled. And just like that, it's back to a 45-28 game. Gibbs had another touchdown run to cut it to 10, but the Lions could never get any closer. I mean, they got closer at the end, but down 6, but that was 12 seconds ago. The other thing I didn't understand was the usage of the timeouts. I didn't understand that at all. Use them. The Lions, let's say the Lions got the onside kick with 12 seconds to go. I know they have 2 timeouts left, but you got to throw the ball deep and near the end and down to the end zone. You can make the argument that, yeah, Matt, but they throw it down the field, let's say on the first play, and they're down to the 40. Then they'll use the timeout. There was only 12 seconds left. I'm not saying you blow all of your timeouts when they were down 48-38, or 48-35. But man, they walk out of there with 2 timeouts still in his back pocket. I did not think clock management at the end was good by Dan Campbell, nor did I think, again, that onside kick was good. And then he does an onside kick the second time. After the Lions had cut it to 10 with 8 minutes to go, he decides to kick it deep. That I didn't get either. Do you have faith in your defense or not? Are you gambling or not? But again, if it was Chris Collinsworth or Troy Aikman, even Tom Brady or Greg Olsen, we would have had a nice explanation from the color analyst in the booth. But Romo, I don't know what he's talking about. I have no clue. Just marble mouth, babbling incessantly for 4 hours. No clue. Jim Nance is like, Tony, would you use your timeouts here? He's like, well, Jim, what? Huh? The hell's he talking about? Next time Romo does a game, I'm turning this. I'll try to sync the sound and listen to Dan, TJ, and Lomas. Dan, that's what I'm gonna do. Tony Romo is abysmal. He was great the first year. Everybody loved him. He predicted every play. People were like, wow, this guy's awesome. And they just paid him whatever they're $20 million, $30 million a year. He's abysmal. Somehow, can we get Greg Olsen from the Fox number 2 booth to CBS to be the number 1? Please make that happen. All right. We're going to hand out some game balls. Yes, there were some bright spots in this loss. Lions gave up 48 points today. Last time they did that was 2022 when Geno Smith and the Seahawks scored 48 on them at Ford Field. Not a good day today for the Lions. still easily can bounce back. The season's not over. Some of you guys are like, oh, Matt Derry's going to start screaming. No, they're 12-2. Not screaming. You knew they weren't going to go 16-1, 17-1, or 16-1. That was a good team they lost to today. Josh Allen is awesome. Back after this. And Locked On Lions brought to you by our friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if you win. I had a lot of friends today say they're betting the over today. They did so on FanDuel, and they cashed in a win because the Lions-Bills went over and went over easily. FanDuel Sportsbook app gives you everything you need to place live bets on the NFL all in one place. So when you get a hunch in the middle of the game, you can check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, and so much more on the same page where you place your bets. Visit FanDuel.com to join today. You'll get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. That's FanDuel.com, FanDuel.com. Never waste a hunch. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NFL. All right, yes, the Lions lost today, 48-42 to the Bills. That's now 2 home losses. Tampa Bay beat them. Tampa Bay, by the way, today went into L.A. and whooped on the Chargers. It was pretty impressive. Watch the end of the Chiefs-Browns game today. Boy, oh, my God, the Browns are pathetic. Yeah, so here we are. Philly wins, beat Pittsburgh, same record as the Lions. Minnesota, they win next week, or they win tomorrow night against the Bears, same record as the Lions. The year the Lions are 12-2, and they're not running away with anything right now. And they've got Alim McNeill banged up, and Carlton Davis, and man, list goes on and on. All right, game balls from today. Jared Goff gets one. I mean, he did all he could. Jared Goff threw for 494 yards and 5 touchdowns, no interceptions, a passer rating of 118.9. He did all he could to keep the team in the game. Early on, missed some throws, and 38 out of 59 is not usually the comp at that we are used to seeing from Jared Goff, but I thought he played a whale of a game, and yeah, maybe some of that was a little stat pad for numbers, but 5 touchdown performance. He earns a game ball from me. Amon-Ra St. Brown today was phenomenal. 14 catches, 193. I know he had the fumble, but and a touchdown. Had the 66-yard touchdown pass from Goff as well. Amon-Ra did all he could to keep the team in the game. Sam Laporta, really good performance today. A ton of stuff down the seam, made big catches. Every time Laporta touched the ball, he made someone miss or ran over somebody. 7 catches, $111 for Sam Laporta. Dan Skipper, do I give Dan Skipper a game ball? Caught a touchdown pass. Ben Johnson. I'll tell you what, that was a heavyweight fight today between Joe Brady, the Bills offensive coordinator, all the motion and all the movement that they had, and Ben Johnson. Those are 2 of the best offensive coordinators in the game going head to head. Joe Brady was phenomenal today. He outdueled Aaron Glenn for sure. Dan Skipper's getting a game ball for his touchdown, and I'm giving a game ball to Jack Fox, the punt god. 55-yard average today, 1 inside the 20 and had a long of 60. Love seeing Jack Fox. You don't want to see him on the field because that means the Lions have to punt, but you love seeing him deliver when the game, when the Lions needed him to. Had a couple of great punts today and did an excellent job. There were former Lions all over the place today. Ty Johnson, Sam Martin, former Hank Winchester buddy. Good old Sam Martin was out there. Of course, had one down inside the 5. It was like the Lions' worst nightmare. Ty Johnson's running free all day, and Sam Martin, the former Lion, punting it away. By the way, shout out to the CBS crew. One of our loyal listeners and viewers, Noah Taluki, who's an everydayer, he was down there today for the NFL Today pregame show, and he said Jim Nantz, TJ Watt, Matt Ryan, Nate Burleson, Bill Cowher, he said they all stopped during breaks, took pictures with the crowd, signed autographs, and could not have been nicer. So shout out to the NFL Today crew. Sometimes those people show up and do the shows and don't even acknowledge the fans. I saw a picture that Noah took with Bill Cowher. Just awesome. Absolutely awesome. Loved having them here. Love the fact that they were, having contact with the fans and taking pictures. And, Nate, we got to get Nate on the show. It's been a while, but Nate's great and loves coming back to Detroit. This is like a second home for Nate. So that was pretty cool to see all of that today. All right, Lions need to regroup. We'll know more tomorrow about these injuries. Trey Wingo is going to join us on Tuesday. Crossover Lauren Cox on Thursday for Locked on Lions and Locked on Bears. All of a sudden, Lions are in a race with Philly and Minnesota for the top spot in the NFC. Bills beat them today. Whoop on them, 48-42. It's Josh Allen. Last week, he ran for 3 scores and threw for 3. This week, 2 rushing touchdowns, 2 passing touchdowns. Man, is he good. That's your MVP right there, man. Josh Allen is playing at another level. Have a good rest of the weekend, everybody. Back again tomorrow. Thanks for checking us out. Wherever you get your podcasts, this has been a Sunday Locked on Lions.